Picture this: a dimly lit office somewhere in London. A British colonial official leans back in his chair, sipping tea, looking at a giant map of the world. His job: draw borders for places he's never been to, based on vague reports, bad translations, and occasional drunken bets. He sighs. All right, let's get this over with. He grabs a ruler, not for measurement, but for randomly drawing lines across continents, sometimes straight, sometimes squiggly, sometimes zigzag, depending on what his heart fancies on the day. And just like that, the British Empire eventually created the blueprint for half of today's world conflicts. Fast forward to 1916. Britain and France, two countries with vague knowledge of the Middle East, decide they'll just split it up. They call it the Sykes-Picot Agreement, which sounds fancy but was really just a British guy and a French guy, drawing borders in the Middle East like kids sharing a pizza, except the pizza is other people's land. They shove different ethnic and religious groups into the same countries, then go home and let them figure it out. Spoiler, they couldn't. Iraq, forced together, civil wars. Syria, forced together, civil wars. Lebanon, you get the idea. The best part? The British never even told the people living there what they'd done. They only found out after World War I ended. It was like a landlord selling your house while you're still inside it. And one day, strangers just walk in and claim your living room. Now, let's talk about Britain's favorite strategy. 1. Colonize a place. 2. Exploit it for everything: resources, manpower, taxes. 3. Suddenly leave with no plan, no transition, just vibes. One of the most chaotic examples: India and Pakistan in 1947. Britain rushed India's independence in 5 weeks, despite ruling it for 200 years. They left behind no real plans for governance, defense, or borders. Millions of people were suddenly told they were in a new country overnight. What happened? Absolute horror. 15 million people were displaced. Over 1 million died in massacres, riots, and revenge killings. And to top it off, Britain left behind Kashmir, a border dispute so bad India and Pakistan have fought 3 wars over it. And the British response? Oh dear, well, cheerio. Another British specialty: turning different groups against each other before leaving. Take Nigeria, a massive country with over 200 ethnic groups. What did Britain do? Slam them all into one country and let them fight it out. In the north were the Muslim Hausa Fulani. In the south were the Christian Igbo and Yoruba. Britain didn't just lump everyone together and expect them to live happily ever after. No, they made sure to play favorites, giving one region more power than the other. Result? Civil war, military coups, ethnic tensions that still exist today. The Biafran War, where millions died, including children. And Britain, the good old empire, sold weapons to both sides. Then they acted shocked when war broke out. Which brings us to another British Empire specialty. I call it the light a house on fire and sell fire extinguishers to the owners strategy. Britain left most of its former colonies in economic ruin. Many still rely on British systems, banks, and laws, which were designed to benefit the British. Let's look at how bad Britain's border drawing skills were. India and Pakistan, still fighting over Kashmir. Israel and Palestine, Britain helped create the mess, then left. Sudan, British policies led to 2 civil wars and a genocide. Northern Ireland, Britain split Ireland, leading to decades of conflict. Cyprus, a former British colony, has been divided since 1960, leading to ongoing tensions and conflicts. Burma, another former British colony, experienced a civil war after gaining independence in 1948, which continues to this day. And yet, despite all this, Britain never admits fault. No apologies, no responsibility. Just a weird obsession with tea and pretending everything is fine. Colonize. Draw bad borders, leave a mess, act confused when conflicts start. This should be the British's national pledge, and somehow they still lecture other countries about governance and democracy. Oh, why can't these people just sort themselves out? Mate, you did this. So next time there's a war somewhere, just trace the history back and ask, did the British touch this? Chances are yes, the British did in fact touch this. You, however, can't touch the quality of this channel. So why don't you like this video and hit that button? You'll be glad you did, I promise.